Fight week is nearly over. It's close to fight time, and what a week it has been. Schwartz and Fury coming up at the Green Beast, the MGM. I'm joined by David Haye, former world heavyweight champion, former cruiserweight world champion. Now, Dave, before we talk about Big Tom, Iron Jaw Tom, and Fury, let's reminisce. Let's go back to 2 weeks ago when you and I were ringside, 6 feet from the ring, rubbing shoulders, incredulous at what we watched with Ruiz beating Joshua. How's that? It's a simple question. It's a loaded question. How's that changed the heavyweight landscape?
They say it's the old cliche, sending shockwaves around the world after every time someone gets knocked out. But there was a literal shockwave around the world. I'm talking people who had no interest in boxing were sending memes of this fat guy who knocked out this big Adonis.
The untouchable, the unbeatable.
Exactly. The Anthony Joshua was as good as a boxer could appear to be.
Yep.
You know, he ticked all the boxes: size, personality, dedication, heart. You know, everything, all the boxes he ticked. And for someone who aesthetically looked as unpleasing as Andy Ruiz Jr. looked, to topple him in such a manner, it's not just a one shot. That could happen to anybody.
Like the Rackman Lewis going back all those years. One shot,
that happens. But it's the fact that you get, it was a hole-in-one situation, and this wasn't that case. It was someone who appeared on the night, it was where I was sitting, to be able to outdo Anthony Joshua in every department.
Because it wasn't luck, was it? Let's get that straight. It wasn't fluke.
It wasn't a fluke.
He boxed well, and we were giving him credit. Yeah. You were looking and nudging me non-stop, saying, look at what he's doing, look at what he's doing.
He was moving his head, he was putting the pressure on, he was throwing punches in clusters. That's the difference. You know, when people fight the big guy, they throw one shot, and if it misses, they clinch. He was throwing quality. He's throwing punches in bunches. He was getting close without taking too much damage, and the body assault from round 3 onwards. Yeah. He exclusively threw that right hand down to the body. Yeah. AJ was worried about it coming to his head, so his hands was coming. He was shooting it down, and AJ had never experienced that before. As far as I've seen any of his fights, no one's ever really attacked his body. Maybe Dylan White with a left hook from time to time. Yeah. But this was the first time I've seen someone really put it on Anthony Joshua. And he folded, he really did fold.
So going forward, David, heavyweight division, everyone seems to have an opinion on what Joshua should or shouldn't do. And some of the people you dismiss, and I mean that nicely, other people you listen to. So he's finished, he'll never come back, he needs the rematch straight away, don't have the rematch, have an easy fight. Where are you at the moment? Because it's a fluid situation. Where are you at the moment?
My opinion is completely and utterly irrelevant. I feel the opinion that only matters, not Eddie Hearn, not Robert McCracken, not anybody. Anthony Joshua knows in his heart. He was in the ring. Yeah. He knows if something happened behind the scenes that we don't know about, if he had glandular fever, if something happened that he just didn't want anyone to know about, he knows in his heart.
He never made any excuses.
No excuses whatsoever. So if there was a legitimate excuse that he's not mentioning, he knows that. And if that's the case, it makes sense to everyone and to him. But if training had gone good, sparring, he hadn't been knocked down in sparring had gone great, everything, all boxes had been ticked, he got in the ring and just got beaten by the better man, maybe it might not be the fight to go straight back into, from a boxing point of view.
That's a maybe
That's a maybe. Maybe you want a couple of... I was very fortunate to have the Jacob Fragomeni fight before the Jean-Marc Mormec fight.
So it prepared you. Fight prepared you for what was going to be a hard fight.
Yeah, so he hasn't had any hard fights preparing for this hard fight. Maybe he needs some hard fights in sparring. Maybe have some smokers behind the scenes, you know, with no cameras, no people. Literally have guys come in for a 10-round fight, literally 10-round fight, and say, right then, little gloves, let's do it.
No filming.
No filming. Let behind those, so he gets accustomed to someone coming at him with real pressure. Yeah. This is something that happened many, many years ago. They stopped doing it now because there's so much money involved. Yeah. But he's got the money. He's got the money. He's not doing it for the money. Yeah. He's doing it for the glory.
But either way, it has, as you said, sent ripples around the world. But it's made the heavyweight scene even more entertaining, because had he won like we expected, although we thought Ruiz would give him a push, had he won like we expected, we'd be just wondering now, doing the usual thing. Will Joshua fight Fury? Will Wilder fight Joshua? So, but at least now we've got something odd and crazy and mad to look at. Titles could be stripped. More men could come in. It's a crazy time to be a heavyweight.
It is, you know, and the fact that Al Heyman looks after Andy Ruiz Jr. as well as Deontay Wilder, that makes an interesting...
Think they could do a deal?
That's the unification fight. I think that fight could be made very, very easily. They're both with the same. They're both with the same advisor. So if Anthony Joshua wants to do anything else, we're going to get the unification fight we always wanted to see. It might not be the way we anticipated. You're not going to get these two absolute specimens in there, but maybe Andy Ruiz is just everyone's bogeyman.
But
maybe he is.
But Wilder, of course, has agreed terms. We found out when we were in New York a couple of days before the Joshua fight to fight Ortiz in a rematch, which was a terrific fight first time round. Seems like an odd rematch.
It doesn't
or can that be shelved?
It doesn't seem like a fight that people are screaming for.
I agree.
I'm not. I know.
No,
I'm
not
not.
at all.
I enjoyed the first fight.
But
it went the way I anticipated it. You know, maybe I didn't expect the big round from Ortiz where he had Wilder hurt and wobbled. But that's all he had. That was the only success he had. Other than that, he lost all the other rounds and got absolutely annihilated.
So let's bring it forward here. Big Tom Schwartz, unbeaten, young guy from Germany, fearless, reckless, truly believes he's going to win. And I believe he believes. I don't think he's tricking himself against Tyson Fury. I'm going to put it to you, David, that Tyson's under incredible pressure here because of what happened in New York and also because he's been put front and centre as the entertainer, as the man that's going to transform the heavyweight division for the Americans.
With Deontay Wilder's explosive knockout of Dominic Brazil a few weeks back, with Anthony Joshua's destruction by Andy Ruiz Jr., Tyson Fury can't afford for a snooze fest 12-round boxing exhibition. He needs to put something more together. It needs to be more than just a points win. He needs to at least knock him down 3 or 4 times. He needs to really let the world know, I'm the best. Look how I deal with this guy. You know, Deontay Wilder, okay, we're going to get it on sooner or later, but he needs to really stake his claim as the #1. And you can only do that by putting on a world class. How would Mike Tyson deal with a Tom Schwartz? How would Lennox Lewis deal with a Tom? We want to see that.
That's what we want to see. That's what you want to see a performance like that where he goes in there, sure he can smile, but he gets rid of him. He does the business.
I want to see Lennox Lewis, Michael Grant. I want to see he's fighting a big guy, big strong guy.
Man, David.
I want to see Tyson Fury go out there and dominate this big man. He's fighting a big, strong, undefeated guy, just like Michael Grant was at the time. And he put on. He showed why he was the #1 at the time. This is what Tyson Fury needs to do.
And even if he gets him out there in 3 or 4 rounds, my gut feeling, Dave, is that Tom Schwartz will, and this is another cliche, go down swinging. There's no quit in Big Tom. I can assure you.
I can see that. I can see it in his eyes. He's here to win. I can see the way he's bouncing around. I can see the energy. I can see a young guy who believes in himself. A young guy who, you know, believes this is his time. He believes all the moon and stars have aligned just for tonight.
It's Tom Schwartz time.
It's Tom Schwartz time. You know, you've got Andy Ruiz calling one of the biggest upsets ever. This could be equally as big. Nobody is giving Tom Schwartz a chance. You know, very few people, even the hardened enthusiasts, boxing enthusiasts, had ever heard of the name Tom Schwartz. I remember when it was like, oh, he's fighting Tom Schwartz.
Tom who?
I was like, I recognise the name, but I had to see a picture of him. Like, oh yeah, this guy here.
You know what, Dave? I think we're going to be in for a fight. It's Las Vegas. It's fight time. We're wandering around. We're waiting for rain. We've had 111 degrees. They were doing a novelty act. I've got to tell you this quickly. They were doing a novelty act at the MGM car park earlier this week. They had a chef out cooking eggs on top of the roof of the car. No, he was scrambling them, souffleing them, omeletting them. I've got to tell you, he couldn't poach them, but he was cooking eggs on the top of the car. David, it's a pleasure. We'll be in there watching the fight. For me here in Las Vegas, what a week it's been.
Fury, Schwartz. Watch it live only on BT Sport Box Office.